My name is Spontaniouse. I'm 19. I'm from Montgomery, Alabama.
And how did you get named Spontaneous?
Cause I was so quick. My mom was like, "Oh Lord, what I'ma name this child?" She was like, "Spontaneous. That's gonna be my baby name." Cause she was like, "I'm like coming, just coming, just coming." I ain't even get her time to like get in the hospital. I was just coming.
So where do you work right now?
I was working at Wendy's, but they like fired me. It was too hot, and it was getting to the summertime. I was like,
I know. He's just laughing because I know it just messes up the weave.
Yeah, I wear tracks all the time too.
What's going on, y'all? It's Oliver Twixt here, the head nerd in charge, the digital debutante. Okay, your nerdboy cutie, always reporting for duty to do the Lord's work once again. And we are back in the Twix-clusive classroom for a special surprise. Okay, we are here reporting for duty about a show that started this whole thing. Yes, America's Next Top Model, y'all. Woo! If you are new here, time to catch up. America's Next Top Model is the show that I began talking about during the pandemic that basically launched my YouTube channel into pop culture. Literally, over 150 plus chats on Top Model, talking to the girls, the guys, the contestants, the judges, some producers. Our content has graced the Hulu screens. It's about to be on a iHeartRadio podcast that's coming out in a couple of days. People license the things. They tune in. They've written up reports about me talking to the people on America's Next Top Model. And it's such a blessing to be curating content again on a subject matter that is so important to my content creator career. And I'm like really excited to be like almost returning back home, it feels like. On top of that, the person I am speaking to today is not only from one of my favorite cycles, which is cycle 9, okay? That's Bianca, that's Jenna, that's Sarah and them. Y'all know my peoples. We are talking to someone that the internet in 2024 has been praising for her authenticity in comedy. Even though her time on Top Model was very short, I got her here today because everybody been asking, where is she at? Where is she at? What is she doing? Y'all, I'm talking about Spontaniouse. Oh, yes. Spontaniouse from Cycle 9 of America's Next Top Model. Now, she was a semi-finalist who we saw during the audition phase. And even though her time was short, as she did not make it into the house, her impact is still being felt to this day. Just Google her name on TikTok, Twitter, now X, Facebook, Instagram, and you will see people going up in praise for her moment on America's Next Top Model. And I have her here in the classroom to revisit that special time in television history. So I'm going to shut the fuck up. And without further ado, I'm going to bring in our special guest to our classroom. Everyone, give it up for Spontaniouse. Hi.
Hi.
Spontaniouse.
It's a pleasure to be here. Yes. Finally.
Finally, Spontaniouse, let the people know potentially how long we have been going back and forth about doing this right here. Is it years in the making?
Yes, I just said that. It's been like a year or so. We've been planning, and it's been, I don't know what's been the holdup. I think it's been me, so my apologies. But yeah, we're finally here, and I'm excited to be here, and yeah.
I'm so excited to have you. I feel like anyone who is a fan of America's Next Top Model knows exactly who you are when they hear the name Spontaniouse. How does it feel to still be tagged in something you did such a while ago?
I mean, it's nice. I see people tagging me and people saying, "Oh, I know her personally," and you just people are just. I read the comments where people are like, "My personality is such a great personality. I have so much energy." Yeah, I really appreciate that. I didn't know so many people were still into top model, so just to see old clips resurface from like years ago, remind you that was from 2007. So it's been a long time, but yeah, they just keep getting hundreds of notifications saying people have tagged me in that video. I was like, oh wow, here we go, because it was about a few months ago when it came up and everybody was saying now it's back again. So I'm like, okay, I must let people know, give them kind of an update on me because I've been seeing people saying where is she now and how is she doing. So I'm here.
And I'm so happy to have you. How long ago did you do Top Model?
The year I went, like that was 2007. So that's been what?
17 years ago?
Yeah, about 17. It's been a long time, super long. That was the year that I was graduating. So yeah, that's
High
how.
school?
Yeah.
Ooh. And so, were you a super fan like me and millions of other people in the world of Top Model?
Yes, I literally used to watch it all the time. Now, remind you, like I think it wasn't the season before me. When the other girl from my hometown, we were from the like same neighborhood and everything. She, Dion, she went before me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna give it a try." Not you didn't know that? Yeah, we're from the
No, not Hula Hey Brown.
yes, we're from the same town. So I was like, yeah. And I remember just, roughly speaking with her mom because I knew her mom and all of that. And I was just talking about audition, and her mom was just like
Oh
motivating me.
wow.
Yeah. And I did it. Like, I just decided to do it. And it was my 12th grade teacher that actually helped me with the audition tape and all of that. Like, we did it during school hours. So I was down that I could not be a finalist or anything, but not thinking that it was gonna go that far. Like it, everything happened so fast. Like it happened really fast, so it was unexpected. Like,
Dion is so special to our classroom because she was the first top model girl I interviewed about the
oh
show.
wow,
She's the
okay,
first. Yes. Yes. Yes.
that's
Oh my
nice.
God. That makes me so happy. That really brings a smile to my face. Makes me feel good. And so were you interested in modeling or were you just a super fan trying to be on the show that you have fallen in love with?
No, I was always like interested in modeling, so I've had done like small stuff around the city, like with people
Mm-hmm.
and so I was interested in modeling. It was just like I didn't have like this built up profile or anything like that. Like I was doing things around town, but I didn't have anything like professional. Like I actually, build a portfolio or anything like that. So top model was like my first like real experience with stuff like close to modeling. Not now I will say I don't think modeling like was my first passion. It was something I wanted to do, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't something like I thought it would be like career wise something I'll just play around with, not something I'll make as a career. But yeah, I had this modeling around town. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I want to create a timeline here. So you're in high school, you're a
Yeah,
senior. I'm assuming it's towards the end of your senior year because you said you were graduating.
correct.
How soon after did you do your audition tape? Do you remember hearing back from someone in casting about the show?
I think it was like a week.
Wow.
Yeah, it was within a week, and I was like, that's why I was like, that was pretty fast. Like, I was like, I don't even know if they're gonna get this tape. Mind you, my teacher helped me. We had to mail it off and all of that. We did everything. That was, I had to Google this. I don't remember how I ended up going about seeing how to submit the casting tape and all of that. But it was like this page that had all of the, guidelines and what you had to say and all of that. So they called, and I remember speaking to Michelle Mock. She was one of the yep, and she was telling me that I had to drive because I was still living in Alabama at the time. So
Mm-hmm.
they were like, "You're gonna have to drive to Tennessee, so that's a few hours away." And my mom, she was excited. It was just me, her, and my nephew at the time because my mom had custody of him. And so she was like, "We're gonna take that drive." I knew how to drive, but I didn't have a license, so it was more so my mom just driving straight there. And of course, we weren't aware of like how everything was gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
Once they call us and told us the dates of the precasting where we go through everything again, we got there and my mom was like, "It's so many girls here," and she was like, "Oh my god." My mom was exhausted because she also worked full time, so it's like
Mm.
got off and drove, so she was really tired. She was like, she's gonna go get a hotel. Good thing she did get a hotel because I had got, moved, selected to move along to the next casting, which I had to come back the next day. So versus, just driving back home, of course we were going to stay there. So, I think after the tape submission and that phone call being within a week, I think about a couple of weeks is when I had to drive to Tennessee. And do the pre-casting with where all the other girls were going to be in. We went through a lot, about three auditions.
Yeah.
It was one in a room full of girls, so they kind of narrowed it down. They were like,
Mm-hmm.
it was like an elimination process. The first one was really quick. You say your name, say where you're from, and say something about you.
Yeah.
And of course, you got girls that are from all over the place, and I mean, it was crazy. Because it was crazy. It was like, say something about yourself. And we were here. We were auditioning for modeling. People are coming with like makeup lines, and they have like bags they created. And I'm like, okay, I don't have none of that. I'm just here. I'm just me. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like the third to the last girl that had to say something. It was probably like 30 to 45 girls in the room at the time. So everybody was saying, such and such, and I do hair, and I did this, and they're popping out with like these tricks. And I'm like, okay, I don't have none of that. But when it came to me, I said what I said, and I don't remember what I said.
I'm about to say, what did you say?
I do not remember what I said, but I do remember everybody in the room laughing. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And I remember Michelle Mock asking me at the time. I used to call myself Miss Fierce 360. I love that auburn color hair. I used to love that color hair. So I had that color hair in my head, and I used to wear green contacts. And I remember Michelle saying something about, I reminded her of somebody that also modeled. And she was like, would you be okay with removing the contacts for us so we can just see you without the contacts? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. I have no problem with removing the contacts, the tracks, none of that. They were laughing because I said removing the tracks as well. But every time I said something, they were laughing. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
it was. I do remember the second audition, which was the next day. This what it was. This is what it was in the first audition. They were
Here we go.
intrigued with how I talk. So a lot of words that I say, I had to repeat it because they were
Mm-hmm.
like, "You're saying what now?" And I was like, "Yeah." They was like, "Can you say this?" And they were like, "With you having such a southern accent, we want to know, would you be like marketable if you had to change it up? Would you be able to change it up? Like, how some people do these customer service voices versus their everyday
Uh-huh.
voices? They wanted to see something like that.
We call
And
it code switching.
yeah, code switching.
And I look
That's what it
culture,
is.
right.
Yeah. So they
Code
was like, if
switching.
you can, I was like, oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. So at the time, they didn't have me to do anything. They just, had me to say certain words, and I was saying them, and they was like, okay. And yeah, the next audition, they had me
How,
to.
how did you feel about that? Hearing them like
Um,
basically analyze your accent and dialect.
at the time, I was so young. I really didn't. I mean, I thought it was kind of funny because some of the girls there, like before we went in the audition room, they were saying something about how I speak, and I was like, okay, I guess it's because they're from all over different places. They're not used to a Southern accent. That's what I'm assuming at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but with them, I feel like they were not trying to be offensive. They were just like, I just had a really thick accent. That's what it was.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because
Vibes
the
are important.
yeah, so because the second day that I had went back to the second audition, they were like, "We want you to sell us this barbecue sauce," and they what you just said, code switch, and they wanted me to change it up, and that's what I did. I mean, I still had that touch of Southern, and it made them laugh. They was like, "You still have that, but you did really good." I don't know why. I was the only person that they had to do that. Like on the video, we were basically to it's like we were talking to Tyra Banks. She wasn't there, but it was a recording, and we just had to say why we should be on the show and things like that. And they was like, "Hey, we want you to do one other thing. We want you to sell the barbecue sauce, just like you're in a commercial, like you would advertise. What would you say and how would you say it?" And I did it, and they were laughing. They thought it was so hilarious. And I'm like, okay. Now, at the time, like I said, I was so young and probably naive. I didn't think much of it. But later on, you're going to see where it played a part, where my accent played a part and my personality played a part as well. Um, Now, after that audition, we go home. Everybody goes home. Nobody knows what's going to happen. We're just totally in the blind. And I think they said something about if you don't hear from us within 2 weeks, then more than likely you're not going to be one of the semifinalists. And we were like, okay. So I go home and I'm excited. I'm feeling good. I'm kind of like 50-50 straddling the fence. Like, I don't know if they're going to pick me or not. So again, within a week, I just get a call, right? I actually had just got home from school, and my mom was like, "The phone is for you." So I get the phone, and she was like, "Hello," and I was like, "Hi," and then she was like, "Hi." I was like, "Hey," she was like, "Do you know who you're speaking with?" I was like, "I don't." She was like, "It's Sarah," and I was like, "Ah!" I'm super excited. Wait, let me go back because we also
You
we
so
also
cute.
we also had got a package in the mail, right? My mom wasn't sure what it was for because it was a camcorder. It was a small camcorder. Well, my mom told me she wasn't sure what it was for at first. After the whole ordeal, she told me what it was. When she told me she had a phone call for me, she was recording me. So I was like, "Why are you recording me with the little camcorder they sent?" She knew, but I didn't. Yeah,
Oh, that's so
it was
cute.
cute. It was cute. They wanted us to record our reaction, of course. But when I got the phone, I was like, she was like, "Hi, Spontaneous," and I was like, "Hey," and she was like, "Who you know who this is?" And I was like, "No," and she was like, "It was Tyra," and I was screaming. I was like, "Ah!" And I was super excited, and I just knew then. I was like, "Okay, but this is Tyra calling." Then I made it to the semifinals, and I was like, "Yay!" So we were excited. My mom was excited. She was like, "Yeah, you made it to the semifinals, and there's one thing. It's going to be held in San Juan in Barbados, so you must have a passport." And at the time, we weren't aware of the passport situation. Oh no, they did tell us. I'm sorry, take it back. They did tell us about the passport situation
Mm-hmm.
during the second. They told us we have to have a passport. So when we got back home, we did go to the post office and go ahead and fill out and apply for a passport. And my mom paid for it to be expedited. But of course, expedited service at that time it could be like 2 weeks, up to 14 days. So,
Right.
and remind you, she called within a week. So she let me know, "Hey, you need your passport." I told her I had already applied for it. And she was like, "You're going to need your passport. This is the day that we're leaving." The day we were leaving was the day of my graduation. Well, it was the day before my graduation. And it was a week from the day she called me. So I had like roughly about 7 or 8 more days before my passport could possibly get to me. And I was like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Because she was like, if you don't have your passport, there's a runner up. There is a person that is up next. She said, if push come to shove, you're going to have to sign like this form that if something was to happen to me, I would have to, being that I didn't have a passport. So my mom was like, I don't know about that. And I was like, oh my God. Do you know the passport came the day before I was scheduled to leave? It
Jesus.
came. Yes. It came. So that was a good thing. So I was like, yes, this is meant. This is perfect. Because of course my mom, she discussed with me. She was like, because I'm the first of my mom kids to graduate high school. So she was like,
Congratulations.
thank you. And she was like, you sure you want to miss your graduation? All of this. I was like, yeah, this is a one-time opportunity. And I was excited. I had told my teacher that helped me about it. And she was like, oh, yeah, definitely. And she was like, this is something you want to do. Of course, go ahead and do it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And when my passport came right on time, I definitely was like, oh, yeah, this is definitely a sign for me to go ahead with it.
And do your thing.
Yes. So we were scheduled to leave like a week after the phone call. So I got there. We get there. I'm kind of nervous. I don't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
Landing. Of course, once I get there, I actually had two different stops. I had to stop in Charlotte, and then from Charlotte, I flew there. So once you get there, of course, there's people everywhere, production everywhere. There are signs telling you, what to do and where to go. Immediately, they're taking your phones and all of that. So it's like, oh, I'm nervous. I don't think at the time when I first got there, I didn't see any other girls. It was just like we're separated. It
Mm-hmm.
was more so of like production coming to get us, sending us in the hotel. The first night, in Barbados, I was in a hotel by myself, and then the next day when we came out for breakfast, that's when we got to see all the other girls. Um, it was a bit much. It was a bit much. I don't know. When I got there, for some reason, I immediately felt like withdrawn. I don't know. I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't feel like when I before I got there, I was excited. I was just enthusiastic. I was ready to experience and just see what it was all about. But once I got there and got to meet everybody and everything and see how things were going to be, I was like, I don't know. I immediately, felt withdrawn, and I immediately felt like I made a mistake. Like this was like after I met everybody, I mean, it was like, I don't know. I don't know what it was. I honestly can't explain it, but like I immediately felt withdrawn. Like I was like, oh, I don't think that I did the right thing. But I decided to, I was like, I'm going to go ahead and go with it and see what it's about. Because I even remember Michelle pulling me to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this was like the second day, and she was like, I noticed, you're not like the upbeat like person you were in the auditions. You're not that spontaneous. She was like, I need you to be the same type of spontaneous you were,
Mm.
keep that same energy up and all of that. And I was like, it's kind of hard when you can't talk, when cameras are not around and all of that. And, we're kind of being monitored or whatever, per se. But I don't know. Also, remind you, Bianca was on the season with me, and we both have like these outspoken personalities. We were both like very, what's the word? I would say I know I'm loud, and we were very blunt individuals. So, um, how can I explain it?
You guys were very similar. Young.
Yes.
Yes,
Um,
young. I think y'all even had like similar hair colors. I think yours
mhm.
was like, yeah,
Hers
like,
was red, and mine was like the orange color.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I felt like when I got there, it was more so a focus on personality versus like
Mm.
like, actually being there for the modeling. Like I didn't want people to just know me as the, just the loud one, the I don't know. I just felt like it was more so that it was either me or Bianca. Like
Really?
that's how I felt. Like it was either me or her. That's I mean, honestly, the second day I felt like, nah, this is not gonna work for me. After having a conversation with Michelle, I was like, yeah, this definitely confirms how I'm feeling. Like, um, it was more so I felt like my personality got me there versus like, because remind you, after meeting all the girls, I realized I had absolutely no experience compared to everybody else. You know, everybody else either had experience from childhood. The winner at the time, what was her name? Shalisa.
Jasmine. Oh, yes,
Uh,
Celicia. Celicia won Cycle 9,
yeah,
yes. I thought you meant the one before y'all. I'm sorry. Yes, Celicia.
yeah.
Celicia.
She went. She went to Tyra. Tyra had like this
A
camp,
camp.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
T-Zone. Was it T-Zone?
Something like that. And I know she was there, and she said she hadn't met Tyra personally, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I have tons of experience." Shalisha is from the she was like, "I have really like I know people in the industry, and at the time I was like, okay, so these girls, not everyone had like experience like that, but a lot of them did, and I was like, okay, compared to a lot of them, not saying that I couldn't have transform or anything, I just didn't have any like professional experience, like no portfolio. I had never like actually been on a runway or anything like that, or done any commercials or anything, so it was all new to me, like
Mm-hmm.
even the competitions, going through the
Yeah.
photo shoots and everything. I was like, oh yeah, I'm all over the place. Like the very first like photo shoot we had, we were on the island, and it was the one with us coming out of the water, and I was like, I was literally all over the place, and I know it. I was like, wait, this water is in my eye. And it was like, wait, Spontaneous. I was like, wait, my eyes are burning. Like, we kids, baby. I'm not a fish. I literally was all over the place. And they thought it was so funny. I was like, wait. It was like, oh my God, I was like, yeah. And then during that time, I didn't know about sew-ins like that. I had like a quick weave. So my tracks were coming up, and I was like, you know what? I'm so over this. And
They was about to swim away from you, Spontaneous.
yeah. Um,
Jesus.
we were able to get a nice shot though, but it was like all to me. And I remember Michelle pulling me to the side, just saying, giving me like pep talk. But the pep talk she was giving me was about my personality. It was like, hey, you seem like you don't want to talk much. You're not, opening up. And I was like, yeah. I didn't want to tell her at the time I'm really not feeling it because I wasn't.
Mm.
But I just wanted to give it a chance. I'm like, I came all this way. I had already missed my graduation. Because like I said, it was like the second day after I flew out. So I had already missed my graduation. So I was just like, I'm just going to give it a try, and I'm just going to try my best.
So, was it that a younger you could have been intimidated by seeing the actual inner workings of the reality TV show? Because at that point, your
Mhm.
only knowledge of the show was seeing the final 45-minute product on your television screen every week. But now you're actually in it, and you're
Right.
seeing what it takes to make that show. Did that aspect of it scare you off a bit, do you think?
Yeah, it definitely played a part. Like I said, like we weren't able to talk without
Yeah.
being filmed, and that
That
was
ice thing is serious.
it was great. Like they were really trying to enforce it. And it was just, I mean, it was tiring. I was bored at times. I was extremely bored.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm a very, very spontaneous person, very outgoing. And I like to talk. Like there were times like I was annoyed to the extreme. I just felt like, oh, at this point, I'm over it. When it came down to like the final last few days, I didn't even really want to film, like, because I was like, I'm just ready to go back home at this point.
Oh, Spontaneous. Oh, yes. They probably were
Mm-hmm.
like, no, we can't.
Yeah.
We can't cast
And
her.
but yeah.
Ooh, now I'm being messy. I'm being a little messy. All right,
Okay.
y'all. I'm out there being messy now, okay? But I'm just being messy for fun. Don't nobody get mad at me. So hearing you talk, I can clearly see how you and Bianca could have been in competition with each other in terms of casting. Like it's either Bianca or it's either Spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think, and I'm asking y'all out there, do y'all think, and this is just for fun, because I don't want nobody to say Bianca ain't talented, she ain't deserving, nothing like that, but I'm just having a little fun. Do y'all think Spontaneous dialing back her personality aided in them picking Bianca even more? A part of me wants to say yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I did, because Bianca wasn't. I mean, she wasn't shy at all. Like,
Oh no, Miss Bianca letting them hoes know from the top,
yeah, she
bitch.
was. She was. I don't know. I just felt like I immediately noticed, like, yeah, it was more so like they were trying to pin us against each other. Like we immediately clicked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, girl, we can be cool. Like, yes. Like, I even reached out to her like after the show and all of that, just to see how she was doing and all of that. But like we clicked, and I was like, you seem like a person I would like just hang out with, if it wasn't for the show and all of that. But I didn't notice, like, after the talk with Michelle, I was like, maybe, like, this is how I felt. I was like, I feel like it's either going to be me or Bianca. Like, this is how I felt, like, based off the personality and the talk that I had. And she was saying, like, you're not being yourself. Like, you're not being how you were in auditions. And like I said, I was in the auditions. I really opened up and had everyone laughing. But of course, I was still being myself. But I don't know. I just felt, then I felt homesick.
Mm-hmm. This your first time out the country,
Yeah,
this far.
it's
Did
far.
Bianca come up in your conversation with Michelle?
She didn't.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, she just more so, expressed to me that she noticed that I seemed a little bit taken back. I
Removed.
wasn't really interacting when we were able to talk to the other girls and stuff. Like, I was
Mm.
really, like, I would be just zoned out in my own little world. And I think she was noticing that. And she said, "You're not just really doing how you were in audition. Like, in auditions, I was open up. Like, I was, answering those questions they asked. I was, just being myself. But I felt like at the times I wanted to talk and say something, I couldn't,
And
because,
that
of
could be
course,
frustrating.
I was over it. I'm sorry. The activities, it was like they just bunched us together for a couple of minutes. Hey, we're gonna put you guys here, and I was like, I don't, I can't be controlled like that. Like, it was so controlling to me. Like, it
And
was
what
not. It,
and what activities are you referring to?
like, scenes which you would see us playing like golf or just sitting out in the sun, on the cruise ship. I also didn't like the fact that that one scene when you see us do the catwalk. I don't know if you remember that
With
scene
Miss J.
with Miss J.
Mm-hmm.
And he made the comment about how I was walking and how I had my butt all hyped up. But that's just, like I said, that's just, I had no experience. It was just a natural walk. Like, um, I thought that was funny. I remember a time, I don't know if they did it with everybody, they would do it with some girls like myself. Like, I got pulled to the side with Michelle. I remember one time going in the room with Michelle, Tyra was, and then there were some other people. And they were just kind of like asking me questions, like, hey, why are you not it's open up, we want you to just expressing to me that they wanted me to
Mm.
be more of how I was in the auditions, like, more personality, like I said, I was withdrawn. I don't know. I don't know.
Spontaneous. It sounded like they wanted to cash you on Cycle 9, girl.
Mm-hmm.
If they kept pulling you to the side and asking you about like what's going on, we want you to show up. They probably were trying to get you to give
I
the
agree.
camera. You know, they're probably trying to get you on camera giving what they wanted so that they could justify in the edit why you were making it into the house, which was clearly because of your infectious, spontaneous personality.
Yes.
Ooh, girl, not you. Not you was supposed to take one of these girls' spots on Cycle 9. I wonder who that could be.
Like
I ain't gonna be messy.
that's why I kept getting pulled to the side. It's like when I got back home, I was so excited. That's how I know I was homesick. That played a big part in it. Because like I said, I'm from Alabama. I haven't really, had a lot of experience or, flew out the country or nothing like that. So it was a lot. And then to be over in another country where, we're being filmed all the time. We're being, told what to do. People were trying to take pictures of us. It was a celebrity experience, I must say. I got close to a little celebrity experience. People were all over the place just because we were over in Barbados, and then we went to St. James and St. Thomas. And, when people see a camera crew and a bunch of girls, tall girls, they're just like taking pictures of us. So the experience, don't get me wrong, it was great. It was a great experience. The girls were great, meeting all the different girls. But like I said, a lot of the girls had a lot of experience. And I don't want to say, I will say it was kind of intimidating, just to see girls that was good at walking. They were good at photos, and they were saying something about my personality. It was never saying, you did really good on that. So that played a part too, which I know I could have improved. I could have got better over time, but it was just that, I didn't have a lot of experience. And so when I got there was a lot of lack of confidence in myself, and I couldn't shake how I was feeling. I couldn't give them, they kept trying to pull it out of me. There were good scenes, they caught, but I don't think it wasn't what they were looking for. Like, I'm not sure
what they had hoped for. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I went and filmed for The Circle on Netflix, and my first day was like shock. The first 2 days I was like, oh, this ain't what I thought it was gonna be, and it clicked in that moment that the experience you had watching the show as a fan is not the experience you're going to have as a contestant filming it. It's a whole different ball game. And I too had that same moment with myself where I was like, I don't want to do this no more. I want to go home. This ain't fun, And it wasn't until like I think it was a chat that I had where I was basically tipsy flirting with another guy that I was like, I'm just gonna have fun. Fuck it. This ain't, to me, I'm not really reading this as a competition. I'm reading this as a show. And so I'm just gonna show up the best way I know how and just have some fun.
Right.
So I could definitely relate to you on going from the TV screen to the production set, and it's just a different thing for you, and what you normally give and who you normally are kind of gets paused a little bit because you're trying to take in the surroundings and figure out, how do I fit into this, and what is it that's going on with so many controls and people watching you and millions of other people gonna be watching you. It's crazy. I heard you talk about the girls, and so I want to play a game with you, which is the favorite iconic game of the Twixt classroom, which is roll call, where I'm going to name all the contestants who were on the cast of Cycle 9, and you're going to give me your first response when I say their name. It could be something that is good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, but you could just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so first on the list, may she rest in peace, is Mila. She was the first one out on Cycle 9. You remember her?
Okay, Mila, she was such a cute girl. I mean, we didn't talk much, but she seemed very, what's the word? Quirky-like. But she was really cute. She was really cute. Sweet. Sweet girl.
Yes, may she rest in peace.
Oh, no, she passed away?
Yes.
I did not know that.
I want to say a long time ago, but closer to the time she was on Cycle 9.
Oh, really?
Okay, next on the list is Kimberly.
Yes. Now, Kimberly, she was really cute. She was really cool. She she had a little personality. She was kind of goofy, like to joke a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
she was really one of the cool ones, and I talked to her a lot. She was one of the girls that also expressed herself as well and how she was feeling. So yes, I do remember Kimberly.
What you mean she was expressing herself? What she had going on?
Let's just say not a lot of us was fond of the you can't talk without, being recorded. There were a lot of um different opinions on that and how things were ran, if that per se. We kind of express, like, I'm a very open person, and if I don't like something, I'm gonna say it. So a lot of girls, kind of engaged in certain things they didn't care for during the time of filming as
Mm.
well.
Next on the list is Victoria.
um I don't really remember her, so she was kind of boring. um, I mean, yeah, she was kind of boring.
Did you watch the cycle? She had like a whole run in with the judges during her panels where they felt like she had a prickly disposition. According to Twiggy, she was like, she's kind of pricky. And they had like a back and forth. And I believe, and my memory serving me right, the people that I've interviewed from Cycle 9 told me there was like a whole exchange between her and the judges or the producers about the show, which kind of led to her being eliminated. It was less about her as a model and just more so her communicating her discontent about what was going on, I believe.
Oh, okay. So I'm not sure, but I don't like. I don't really remember her from me, like the time that So yeah, she was kind of boring, or I just didn't talk to her.
What you got on Janet?
Janet was a cool, down to earth person. I remember this little book about Janet, something with her teeth, but she was a cute girl. She was really down to earth. I talk to her sometimes, not much, but she did have a good personality. Very down to earth person.
Mm-hmm. Next on the list is Ebony Morgan. You remember Ebony?
And so we did have like some moments we kind of clash. But yeah,
What,
yeah.
what y'all was clashing about? Do you remember?
I don't too tough recall so long ago. I remember one time we were in the hallway. Um, we were just sitting there waiting, I think for a confessional or something like that. Um, Ebony was kind of like one of those like uppity girls. Like she didn't really say much. She just how do I explain it? She just was like one of those kind of like uppity girls. I don't even remember whatever we kind of got into about it was really petty. It was extremely
Mm.
petty. But I do remember us having like at one point maybe two times. I want to say another time we were outside, like I can't remember. I do remember the incident in the hallway. We had words, but I don't know. I don't remember what it was about. Emily came off as like one of those Sadidi like girls. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she didn't really talk much. When she did, it was kind of like one of those moments where we end up having words. I can't remember what it was about though. But yeah, I did think she was a cute girl. Um, yeah, that's about it.
Did you know she quit the cycle later on?
I did not.
Mm-hmm. She quit, child.
Yeah, I always felt like she felt like she was a little bit too much for the show, or she was one of
Like
those
better
girls.
than the show?
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say like Sadidi. Like, yeah, I don't really need this. Like, one of those type girls.
I would love to talk to her because that was a huge critique of her during her time on the show where her personality kind of
I
gave
wasn't.
icy. Yeah, Tyra used to kind of get on her from her perspective of being kind of icy and removed and not being kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think from watching it, clearly there was something going on with her and her experience that led her to say, like, I want to go home. I don't want to be here no more. Like, I'm ready. I'm done. Yeah, she quit. She quit in panel and was like, yeah, I want to go. I would love to talk to her because I feel like there was something going on
You
with
know, her
her.
and Bianca had an incident before, like
Mm-hmm.
where they kind of clashed. So, like I said, there were times she didn't talk to anyone. She would just sit there, like totally withdrawn, like I said, not like how I was, because I still would engage with some of the other girls and talk, and but she was like completely like, I don't know, like came
Ain't
off
fucking with
really,
y'all.
I'm too good for this. Yeah, like one of those type girls, like this. You guys are beneath me. That's what type of vibe she gave. So, with me being the type of person I am, I have a very blunt personality. So I'm gonna say what I want to say, like, and I don't know what the scenario was, but yeah, we had words, and I kind of let her know, like, yeah, it was one of those incidents.
Ooh,
Yeah.
spontaneous. You woke up that day.
Oh yeah, but she was. She
Ne-
always came off like, yeah, you guys are beneath me. This is beneath me.
mm-hmm.
I can do whatever. I don't need this show. That's the type of personality she had. She was very boring, like very boring.
I would love to talk to her now to see, like, from her vantage point, what was her
Mm-hmm.
experience during that time, because like when she got not eliminated, when she quit, she like broke down, like, and you could tell she was holding something inside, and I wonder
Mm-hmm.
if maybe it could have been how people were perceiving her and she just couldn't process it at that age, and understand. I don't know, and I'm putting a whole lot more stank on it.
It
I
may
just
have been because a lot of girls kind of felt the same about Ebony. Like, when I look back on it, now that I'm older, and I
mm-hmm.
look back, because I tend to, like, I don't know, people tend to, I'm kind of like I would say I'm one of those like leader type people, and people tend to gravitate towards me, especially back then, like when I was young. I always been a very blunt person, say whatever comes to my mind, not thinking about people's emotions or feelings, and not like trying to intentionally hurt someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed, like, after I said what I had to say about Ebony, a lot of other girls started to express, oh yeah, I agree, Ebony is one of those stuck up type girls.
So you started this shit.
And when I look back, it's like, yeah. She might have felt like a lot of girls were ganging up. Like, why are
Mm-hmm.
everybody, She would say, but the thing is, with Ebony, if you say express how you feel, she would like rebuttal with something arrogant. Like, of course I am. But she was like that. So, yeah. She's very poised, but she's very, sedity and stuck up. Like one of those kind of ones you don't want to tend to be around. I mean, it's okay with thinking highly and being bougie, but come on, girl. We're all here trying to do the same thing. And I kind of think when I said what I had to say, everybody was like, yeah, I agree. Everybody started to feel the same way about you. So she could have felt that type of way, like, yeah, nobody really here cares for me and my personality. She could have felt that way, but yeah.
Not
I
the ghost of Spontaneous was haunting them, and you wasn't
no,
even there.
she had a whole situation with Bianca as well. So,
Mm.
yeah, I think the
Um,
situation with her and Bianca was a lot worse because it was. But I was small. But I can see where you're coming from now that I'm looking at it now at this age.
mm-hmm.
When I look back at it, yeah, it could be that she felt like we were ganging up on her because nobody really liked her. Like nobody, was really cool with her. So I could see that happening.
Shout out to Ebony Morgan, okay? One of the
Yeah.
few people to ever quit America's Next Top Model. She's so tired,
Right.
bitch. You don't got to see me home. I'm going home. I know that's right.
She had enough. I wonder what it was. That would be a good interview.
Next on the list is our friend Sarah.
Sarah,
Yes.
she was a cool girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Looking at her now, I don't even know why they would say she was plus size because she
Ain't
was
that
really
crazy?
small. She wasn't big at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, she seemed. I didn't really, get to talk to her much, but she seemed like she was a, pretty cool person, down to earth person. But yeah, that's about it.
Next on the list is another friend to the classroom, Ambrielle. You remember Ambrielle?
Yes, now I remember Ambrielle. But Miss Ambrielle, I remember her being a stoner.
She was smoking weed?
No, she wasn't smoking weed there, but she was telling us about how much she smoked.
Oh.
That's the only thing I remember about her. Her lips was really black. She was a cute girl. Got this small little fro like. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I could tell she was a smoker just by looking at her. But that's all she talked about. She was a cool girl.
I met Ambrielle maybe back in 2022, maybe. I think it was 22,
Mm.
either 21 or 22. But I met Ambrielle during one of my visits to LA, and she was so pleasant. She was a pleasant time.
Yeah, she was really cool, laid back. She was always laid back.
Next on the list is Lisa.
Oh, I had literally forgot about Lisa.
Not you forgot about Lisa.
I
Lisa's
forgot
still
about
modeling to this
Lisa.
day.
Is she?
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was like a dancer or something at one point.
I think that was her past.
Yeah, she was telling us about. Lisa was really cool though. She seemed like just like a girl from around the way. Like
Mm-hmm.
she had a she had a background for the be when you think about it, we was really young, but she was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of those kind of wild child type of cats. But she was a cute girl. She was like, you know, well, when we got able to talk, a lot of people would talk about like their background and where they're from and a lot of experiences. And I think we remember breaking down at one point when Lisa was telling us about some of her, things she dealt with in life. But I really liked Lisa. I really liked her. She was a beautiful girl. She was really cool, vulnerable. But yeah, she kind of reminded me of Alicia Keys.
I can
All
see
Alicia Keys.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's crazy
Next,
how I forgot about so many girls until you show me the pictures and like say their names. I'm like, oh my god, yes.
mm-hmm. It's a good little trip down memory lane.
Yes.
Next on the list, spontaneous, is Heather. You remember Heather?
Yes, I remember Heather.
What you remember about Heather? What comes to your mind?
Awkward,
Mm-hmm.
really cute. She's really beautiful, but she was just different. She really didn't say much, but
Do you remember that she had? And
I
I want to
was
make sure. I want to look it up to make sure I'm going to say it
yes,
right.
I remember.
What
It
was it
was
Heather had?
I forgot the name of it, but I remember. Um,
Asperger's syndrome.
she
She had
always
Asperger's
took the
syndrome.
best pictures though. Like
Oh
she
yeah,
always
she was
took some
killing
of the
y'all
best
hoes.
pictures. Yes, like it was like effortless. Like, girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said she had such a beautiful face. Like her face was really pretty. And
Mm-hmm.
so but she didn't really like if you talk to her, she would talk to you, but she didn't, she was like one of those quiet ones.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't really much what was it called? Asperger's or something like that?
Asperger's.
Asperger's, yeah.
Asperger's syndrome.
That was my very first time hearing something like that or being around somebody. But I mean, she just was kind of standoffish. She didn't really, but she was really pretty.
I've spoken to her in the DMs, and I would love the opportunity to talk to her because I
Hmm.
just would love to hear the experience through her lens if she's able to and willing to. But yeah, I would love just to hear her take and reminiscing
Yeah.
on all this stuff. Next on the list is your top model tether, Bianca.
Bianca, that's my girl.
Mm-hmm. Bianca, baby.
Bianca, a very open personality, outspoken person. She was always the loud one. She had that New York accent. Just really cool, down to earth. Like she was one of the ones like me, just very outspoken. Being herself. She wasn't afraid to say what she had to say, and very cool girl. We kind of clicked like sisters.
Check your thighs in the mirror. I'm done. I'm done. When Sean and Salisha was going off, check your thighs in the mirror. I'm done.
Because I can see that coming from a mile away with her and Shalisha. Like, I was like, I don't know if they're gonna get along.
I've met Bianca. How many times have I been in Bianca's presence? It feels like a lot because we've we used to talk often.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't spoken to her in a while, but I know she just got married maybe within the last year. She's
Oh
a teacher.
no.
I
Mm-hmm.
saw her do a TED talk one time. Of course, she had like a modeling career after the show, and then she retired from doing that, and now she's a teacher doing her own thing and just married, living her little beautiful black little lady life. Just looking good, looking so good. This makes this. I'm gonna text her after to be like, "Girl, what's going on with you?"
I haven't seen her. I remember after the show, like after the entire show, I called her. We talked for a minute, and I recently seen her on IG. It was probably about 2 years ago, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really keep up with many of the girls after the show. So
Next on the list, who's next? I've met a lot of girls from Cycle 9. I'm realizing it. I met a lot of girls from Cycle 9. Jenna! Do you remember Jenna?
Jenna was cool. She was, she's a people person, so she
Mm.
didn't mind talking to everybody. Like she was all over the place. Like, but she was a really cool girl, really cute girl. Um, yeah.
Next on the list is the runner-up of Cycle 9, Chantal.
Oh, Chantal is the white black girl.
What you remember about the white black girl?
I always thought she was just really I don't know. Her name for one gave me black girl vibes, but she was a really cool girl. I never thought she was gonna be the runner up, but yeah, she was. I didn't. I mean, honestly, I didn't, but she was cool. She was really cool. She was one of the cool ones. She, talked a lot. Yeah.
And last but not least, the winner of Cycle 9, Celicia, which I believe she goes by Sal now.
Okay, so Alicia.
She said, okay.
Yeah. Sal. Yeah, Celicia. I always thought Celicia was a pretty girl. Honestly, when I first met Celicia, I thought Celicia was a lot older for our age range. Not saying her appearance, just based off the, when she spoke and she spoke about her experience.
Gotcha.
Even when she went into detail about dating the people she dated, I thought that was quite strange. Yeah. But
I'm looking at y'all ages now. She was one of the older ones there. She was 21. Her and Heather were 21. Everybody else was 20, 19. And then Jenna and Bianca were the youngest at 18.
yeah. But she was, for some reason, what's crazy? When she started to talk about her life and her experience and her being on Tyra Banks' camp,
Mm-hmm.
I literally said to myself, I said, this is another reason why I was very withdrawn once everything got into play. I said to myself, she's going to win. I don't know why I knew that, but I said, it's too, it's too much of,
Commonalities.
yeah, that, something just dawned on me, like she's going to win no matter what. Like, that's just how I felt.
Can I tell you something though?
Mm-hmm.
So one of my friends told me that Tyra was not particularly excited about picking Celicia as the winner, considering considering the connections the both of them had prior to the show, and that Tyra was leaning more towards Chantal. Now, it could have been a producer play, right? Because people also forget that Tyra, even though this is her show, there are other producers involved and people that she has to answer to. It could have been a producer network play to have this beautiful story about how Tyra had mentored this girl and now she's on the Tyra top model show and she fought her way to the end and won, which is why I think they also used to give Celicia a hard time throughout the thing, because they didn't want to make it seem like, and I'm talking about from a producer standpoint, they didn't want to make it seem like she just then came in and just took it because she knew Tyra back in the day. But I just wanted to add that little Easter egg in there.
But yeah, I honestly felt like that. Like, I don't know. For some reason, I was like, yeah, she's definitely going to win. Like that was always in my mind. You know what's crazy? Because during the time that they were picking for the last finalist that was going to be in the house, I was over it. No, seriously, I was standing there and I was completely over it. We were standing on this little podium by the pool area, and we had been sitting. I was like, you know what? And they knew it. They was like, could you, like, I don't know why they want to put the camera on me, because I was like, every time she called somebody's name, I was like, oh. And I was about to get down, and just, it was me and the girl I was telling you about that I was really close with. Because she was standing there with me both, and she was looking at me. I don't know why this girl was looking at me. She was looking at me crying, and then I was looking at her like, girl, I am so over this show. I don't know what you're crying about. Because I knew at this point, I was like, I know I'm not about to be a semi-finalist. And it had just dawned on me. I was like, I don't even know why I'm standing here. Like, why did I let them play me like this? Like, it was so much. And Tara, after everybody, she picked and gave everybody their pictures that were going to be, you know, in the house. She walks over to all the girls that are standing there that didn't make it, and she's giving everybody a hug. And when she comes to me and give me a hug, I turn my head and I'm like, absolutely not. I didn't hug her.
Ooh! Spontaniouse, you gave it up like that.
I was like, no, ma'am. Absolutely not. I did not hug her, no.
And what Tyra Sherelle Banks said?
She just was like, you're not going to give me a hug? I was like, no, ma'am, I am not. I'm not giving a hug, no.
Why you want to give Tyra a hug?
No, I just, like I said, after being there and it dawned on me Shalisa was going to win, I just felt like it was too much fake stuff. I was like, they got us here. They already have everything set in play. They know who's going to win. They're wasting our time at this point. The petty cash that they're giving us is not enough to, once you leave the show, it's not going to make up for what you've lost. And it was just like, once I realized what was going on and how things actually work, I was like, yeah, no, this is not for me.
What was the petty cash looking like? How petty was it?
Petty? What's the word they call it? Per diem.
Per diem.
Yeah, petty.
What was y'all per diem? You remember?
I don't remember, but I remember leaving there with like, was it even 300 and some cash or something? It was nothing. I had been there like 2 weeks.
And you got like $300 in cash. $150 a week. Quick math, that's about $20-something a day. And
your family and you're just all day with this.
But the exposure, Spontaniouse, to be on top of this show.
It was great. It was a great opportunity.
I'm sounding like them.
The girls, the people that was there, I didn't have like this great experience with the judges.
So I want to really take us back down memory lane.
My name is Spontaniouse. I'm 19. I'm from Montgomery, Alabama.
And how did you get named Spontaniouse?
Cause I was so quick. My mom was like, oh Lord, what I'm gonna name this child? She was like, Spontaniouse, that's gonna be my baby name. Cause she was like, I'm like, coming. I ain't even get her time to like get in the hospital. I was just coming.
So where do you work right now?
I was working at Wendy's, but they like fired me. It was too hot and it was getting to the summertime. I was like, I ain't gonna work.
He's just laughing because I know it just messes up the weave.
Yeah, I wear tricks all the time too.
Oh my. And that's the clip everybody's talking about.
That's the clip. That 30 seconds has lived on into 2024, and people are still talking about this clip. What is your reaction seeing that?
Yeah, that was hilarious. I don't know, like I don't know what made me say that. She was asking me about how did I get named Spontaniouse. They kind of cut some of it out. Because I did tell her about the story about my mama watching an Arsenio Hall show, and that's where she got my name from. But they cut some parts out because I told them about I had flipped out of the crib And that was another reason why my mom named me Spontaneous. It was just one of those spontaneous moments during labor. But um, yeah, Tyra thought that was hilarious.
So, what do you remember feeling walking into that room to see Tyra Banks in person for the first time?
The crazy thing is, I was actually excited. I was relaxed, like I was just comfortable. I was being myself. That's why when they played the clip, I was like, "Oh my god, I know they didn't know they was gonna play it." But yeah, I was just expecting them to just have us to do some of the most off the wall stuff. Because remind you, we would go into these experiences just blind. We're not knowing what we were going to do and what was going to happen. So I actually wasn't expecting to see Tyra that day, but when we got in front of her, I was just like, oh wow. I don't know, I was kind of nervous, but at the same time, the questions they were asking me was kind of funny because I actually was working at Wendy's prior to me getting on the show. And yeah, so they were like, why would you tell them that? Because when I got back home, I would, they still let me keep my job with me being gone so long. But everyone was excited about that. Like being in front of Tyra and them, I was completely myself at that moment. But like I said, and that was part of the beginning of the show. That wasn't when I started to feel like, that was kind of towards the beginning of the show. So after that, it was more so, yeah, the energy had died down. After that, I didn't, uh, I didn't really feel it anymore after that. But there were moments I would have talks with Michelle, and I would feel a little better. But most of the times, I just wasn't feeling it anymore.
Because I remember hearing you saying earlier you didn't like some of their comments. Was it the comments they said in the judges panel or just comments you heard them say later on?
I mean, comments throughout the whole experience. Because remind you, a lot of stuff you guys didn't get to see. Like they would critique you. Like we would go in the back sometimes and do what was considered like confessionals, where they would ask you questions about another person. Um, and how did you feel about this person? Or if something happened on camera with two girls and they would ask, hey, how did you feel about this experience? But during confessionals, it was more so questions about how do you feel about this individual, or who do you think should be eliminated? And a lot of times after we did different types of competitions, like the scene where we did the photo shoot coming out the water, and I think that was on St. James, if I'm not mistaken. We were on that island. A lot of time the judges would go through these photos because remind you, you got several different shots. And just say me in general with the one from the beach, going through several shots and not being able to, you only got one or two good shots out of, let's say, 90. That's the issue. And they'll critique you on, hey, when we're trying to get photos, they're trying to tell you how to pose, or a lot of things weren't just not sticking, like with the walking, and a lot of things take time. That's what I kind of felt like. I'm not experienced as a lot of other girls. This is all new to me. I have never done any modeling prior. Like I said, I've done something in the hometown, but it wasn't, I wouldn't say, as professional. Remind you, I'm in Alabama, so I didn't have like a portfolio. I didn't have professional pictures where I was just, doing it all the time. So it was all new to me. And, they were like, you, that's why I felt like it's more so my personality versus my experience and what I was doing there, as far as modeling. Like I know over time they could have molded me into like this awesome, perfect model, but I just wasn't there when I got there. Like I needed a lot of working, and they would critique us on a lot of things. And I just felt like some of the things they would say, a lot of girls don't have like tough skin. A lot of girls can't take um, some critique. A lot of girls can't take it. It kind of breaks down their confidence. But for me, it was more so I started to notice like it was based off the personality when it comes to me. It's either me or Bianca.
It's a
Um,
show, you know.
it's a show, so
Mm-hmm.
of course, it's a show. They want to get ratings, so they feel like if you're marketable, and that's why I say all of this when I say that it was already planned as to who was going to be the winner, and basically they wanted different people for different things. Like I think what really took the cake is when Bianca and Ebony like really clashed, and Bianca was showing more so of her just her authentic self. Her she has the personality, the very blunt, the very outspoken person. And then you have Ebony, she's more of a more shy, laid back, withdrawn, sedity type person. And then that's me. I mean, I'm more of a spunky, outspoken person, but at the same time, I'm not being that. I'm just there. I'm just here. Like I'm absorbing everything, but I just feel out of my element, basically.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Going back to roll call, I now want to know your thoughts on the judges. Okay, you did get a chance to meet Jay Alexander, Miss
Yes.
J.
Oh, Miss J. I would say he's just like he is on TV. Like how I saw him on TV is how he is in person. He has that same
Mm.
personality, that same persona. He gives that same type of critique. My experience with him, like I said, it was with the walk when we did the walk, and he said I kind of had like a bounce where I like to bounce my booty, but that was just my natural walk. Um, I like Miss Shay. I think Miss Shay is I think he's really good at what he does. He tries not to be so um what's the word? He tries not to be so harsh, but at the same time he does give you like, his honest opinion. Like with me, he was like, you need a lot of work on your walk and things like that. But I like Miss J. I would say he's one of the ones that I did like. Not nothing bad to say about him.
They weren't on the judges panel, but I want to get to them now. What about Jay Manuel?
J. Manuel
Mm-hmm.
with the blonde hair.
Yes.
Um, I don't know. He's kind of, now that I look back at it,
Oh Lord.
some of the comments he made, I don't know. I didn't really agree with like on the clip I said something about it being really hot, and he was like it messes up the weed. That's not what I was referencing to.
Ooh.
Um,
So you was like, bitch, why you trying to go to the weave so quick?
mhm.
What you trying to say?
Right, exactly. He was just one of those ones that I felt like he just, yeah, he kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But, yeah, I don't want to say too much, but yeah, he made that weed come in and.
No, girl, you can say whatever you want to say. The people want to hear from
No,
Spontaneous.
I'm serious. He made that weed come in, and looking at it now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, you were trying to be funny, but if I if I would have knew what I knew then, I probably would have said something off the
Mm-hmm.
wall to him. But looking back at it now, I'm like, yeah, he was trying to be funny, but it's okay.
Lord.
And he
Welcome to
actually was one
TV.
of my favorites before I went on the show. But yeah, I
Did
really
you
liked him.
did you hear about how him and Tyra fell out?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Ooh, child. They ain't friends no more.
Well, I can kind of see that.
Ooh.
I can
Why you say
kind of see
that?
why.
Why you think why? I want to know from Spontaneous.
I don't know. He seems like one of the types that he's kind of not like self what's the word, self-conscious or aware, like some of the things that he might say, how it can be perceived or how
Mm-hmm.
could it be offensive to someone. So I can see him saying something, what is it, something derogatory or off the wall. And Tyra, being Tyra, Tyra's one of those type of people, like, she comes off as my way or no way. Like,
really? Okay,
yeah.
we jumping ahead. I was gonna go to Nigel next, but we gonna go to Tyra. You on Tyra now? What's your thoughts on Tyra Banks?
Yeah, she gives me one of those type of people. Like,
I mean, that was her shit.
you're right, but still, like, yeah, girl, we not gonna do this. When they would remind you, we're young, but we're still adults. Like, we're young adults, but we're still, you know what I'm saying? So when the time they pulled me over in the room and she was just like, you know, kind of critiquing me about how I seem like I'm kind of withdrawn. I don't have this.
Okay, hold on, Spontaneous. There was a moment where Tyra was critiquing you. Was this shown on the show? I don't remember this.
No. Remind you, I said there were times they would put me to the side and I would go into a room and there would be like a long table and there would be Michelle and there would be another person. There would be a screen with Tyra where she's live somewhere else. Yeah, like an investigation, let's say.
Not Tyra Banks was zooming in.
No, seriously, this is it. Like, she would have these meetings. She would pull people to the side.
The only reason why I'm laughing is because, and I know you're far removed from the stuff that people talk about from Top Model.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, going back to Jay, during the pandemic, he started doing these weekly chats, which is how I basically got started.
Mm-hmm.
He would do these weekly chats talking about Top Model. In Cycle 9, I believe, if my memory serves me correct right now, was the time where she started transitioning more into doing other things outside of Top Model, such as her talk show and some other ventures she was working on. And I believe this is around the time that Tyra basically was like becoming removed from the show. She wasn't as hands-on as she was in previous cycles, and the show was also going in a different direction. So to hear you say Tyra Banks was zooming in kind of supports all of the other stories we've heard about her being busy around this time.
It's like, was she somewhere else? Because remind you, we were on a cruise ship. So I don't know if she was. I know she was there during the elimination, so I don't know if she had. You know, like I said, we were making stops where we could get off at different islands and then had to be back aboard at certain. Did you not know? I'm not sure a lot of people knew about this cycle this season. What was so funny to me about this season, that they said this season, the Cycle 9 was supposed to be a cycle where girls were not as cute. Where girls were not supposed to be as cute. Yeah, this was supposed to be a season for girls that were not as cute as normal girls they were.
Who said that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can go back. I mean, it's there. And like Tyra said this out of her own mouth. We were looking for girls that are not considered like, I don't know what she meant about that, because hunty.
Did she mean like edgy girls? You know, not the stereotypical beauty.
Like girls who have a uniquely different look, or what was she? Maybe, because I feel like I'm one of those girls that have one of those uniquely different looks. But far from not cute is not one of them. Talking to me, honey. But it was actually funny when I found out about that. Like, when I
just look at the material, baby.
Like, I was so surprised when I heard that. Like, it was said several times, and I could remember her saying something like, the girls of that season, they were looking for girls. Even during like some of the castings, maybe people were not even paying attention. But she said it. I was paying attention because I was like, what does she mean about that? Then to get there and seeing the choices of girls, not saying that the girls were ugly or anything, but look at all the previous. No, seriously, look at all of the previous top models and the selection of girls and how they look versus Cycle 9. Like I said, you had girls, like, it was just a variety of girls on that cycle. And she said she was looking for girls that were, I don't know the exact words, but it wasn't like she was saying she was looking for ugly ducklings. She was looking for girls that was something unique about them. That was something different about them. That's kind of how she put it. But to me, it came off for I was looking for girls that are not so cute or not as cute or not as pretty as girls that I've selected before. That's how it came off to me.
I want to go back to this meeting with Tyra on the television screen. Take us back to that day. What happened?
It's like I walked in the room and I was like, okay, me thinking that everybody was doing these type of meetings, but to come find out everybody wasn't. Because I'm the type, I was asking other girls, hey, did you go in the room and did you get to talk to Tyra?
You want to
And
know.
she said, yeah. So it was like, yeah, why was she getting me in the room? Hey, you need to show more of your personality. Be more of the spunky, the outspoken spontaneous, how you were in the precasting when you were trying to
Oh,
get on
girl,
the show.
Tyra wanted you.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. She was just like, we need you to be more yourself, show us more of your personality and how, I was withdrawn. I was kind of, then not to mention the girls that was there with me, they were also having me. Like, I remember one day we were in like the dining area. We had just eaten dinner, and because we would have like these private areas we would eat at on the ship, away from everybody else. Because remind you, we were still on the ship with like thousands of other regular people that weren't filming or anything. So, and I remember being in the room and the girls, like, the girls had me saying different words. They were like, say Texas and say taxes and how do you say this? So I thought it was kind of funny because everybody thought that I had like this really thick accent, like, and they not only that they found it intriguing, they also liked the way I talk. So that was another good thing. But Tyra got me in the room and she was more so like, hey, we need you to be more like yourself. Like you were in the audition. You were very bubbly. You were very spontaneous, you were funny. And, I was like, I mean, we only have moments where we can talk and it's only so much that we can say. I mean, some of these girls I can't even relate to, they were trying to set up scenes with girls and you're like, me and her never really even interacted, it's nothing really there to talk about. So that was kind of hard, but it was more so she wanted me to, open up more, just come out my shell. And
So then later when she didn't call your name, you was like, girl,
yeah.
back up.
But the crazy thing is, I kind of figured she wasn't going to call my name. I knew it was going to go to Bianca. I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be Bianca over me. Because Bianca has, 100%, been herself. She's always been just, like, Bianca was always on 10. So I think that kind of made I don't think both of our big personalities would have, it's possible we both could have been in the house, but I think it was more so just me or her.
Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, Spontaneous. We skipped over him. Did you get a chance to meet Nigel Barker? Noted fashion photographer, Nigel Barker.
I did not get a chance to. Wait. No, I did not.
Dang.
Nigel. Who took our pictures the first time? No, it wasn't Nigel. No, I didn't.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to Tyra Banks?
I mean, we didn't get much of an experience with Tyra. Like I stated, I don't know if she was somewhere else because she wasn't. Half of the time, it was more so of the producers and things like that. We didn't get to see much of Tyra unless she just popped out somewhere. Like I said, there were scenarios where we were going into places and they were like, hey, we're going to go and do this. And then Tyra just busts us out of nowhere. But yeah, she would just bust out of nowhere. And I'm like, that's awkward. But I mean, it was a great experience. I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed meeting all the girls. I think one of the number one people that I'm gonna miss is like Michelle, because she really tried to push me. Like
You've been talking about Michelle a lot this time.
yeah, Michelle. She even like after that season, she was trying to get me to come back to try out for more seasons. I was like, I don't think. After I got back home from that experience from Top Model, I didn't want to model.
They
I didn't.
wanted you back on Top Model.
I've spoken with Michelle. She was like, "You seriously need to audition again. I want you to come back and try to do it again." And it's just like after that, I didn't feel like modeling was something I wanted to do, or that wasn't the route that I wanted to go. As far as modeling, because that was more like it was still considered reality TV. It's an experience, so I felt like everything is set up already. Like when I said that I felt like Shalisha was going to win, and she did win. Like I'm a good person that picks up on energy, and I immediately, could see what was happening. But Michelle was the person that really wanted to push. Like she was really big in the production. She was like a executive producer or something like that, and she was really trying to push me. She try to get me to come back and audition again. And I was like, no, I'm over it after the first experience. I don't want to do it anymore. And that's why I tell people I don't know if the timing was right for me. I don't know if I missed on the timing.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And then for me to feel like, oh, I missed my graduation, like I started to blame Tyra for everything. I was like, at the point, I should have just, I was like, I missed my graduation for this BS. I knew it. When Shalisha won, I said, Mom, I told you. I told my mom, like, we watched it all the way to the end to see who was going to win. And I was like, I'm telling you, that girl is going to win, Mom. She's going to win. And she won. So I don't know if it was the wrong time or what, but after that experience, I didn't pursue modeling like that. Like I didn't have that ambition anymore. I didn't, have the drive for it anymore. It wasn't something that I feel like I wanted to do anymore.
Social media was not a big thing back then when Cycle 9 was out. But people still had television screens. What was the reaction to people seeing you on a big show like America's Next Top Model?
People was excited. Now, people from my hometown, they already know how I am. I'm a very, very spontaneous person. The show is just a tiny bit of how I am in, real life. And so it was a rumor that like, oh, she went there and she attacked Tara. And I was like, what the heck? Yeah, they started all type of stuff. But I mean, most people was super excited.
I bet.
They supported me. Now, it's something that I did want to say prior about one of the finalists that was on the show prior to me. You remember when I told you I was excited about being picked as a semifinalist, and my teacher had helped me, and she was so excited that she was going around and she was trying to tell everybody at the school. But remind you, there's a confidentiality before you can't talk too much.
Yeah.
Without things being filmed or people signing, non-disclosed forms or things like that. So she was just super excited. She was just blabbering and telling everybody. And I don't want to say a name, but one of the girls, it got back to her, and this girl actually called Tyra, one of the producers, personally, and told them that I had been telling everyone. I hadn't personally been telling them when it was the teacher. But she told them I had been telling everyone, and that almost stopped me from actually getting on the show.
Oh my God! Spontaneous, you're not going to give us a name?
Well, you can kind of put things together. I mean.
Don't tell me it was Hula Hey Brown.
We were from the same hometown, yes.
Don't tell me it was Hula Hey Brown. Dion?
Yes.
Dion called Tyra.
I'm not sure if she called Tyra, but Michelle is the one that gave me this information. Told me.
The Top Model T is fighting.
Yes, and I kind of thought that was kind of whack because we were from the same, Yeah, this literally almost prevented me from actually being a semifinal. I mean, being one of the semifinalists.
Michelle Mock told you?
She said, whomever is the teacher, and I told her, yeah, she was the one that recorded the audition tape and we did everything. She was like, I'm going to send a form. She had to sign, and she was like, anyone she's told had to sign. And she was like, moving forward. And my teacher was really, I mean, she was broken. Like, it really hurt her feelings to hear that. She was like, I can't. She was like, I'm so sorry. She was apologetic. Of course, she didn't mean any harm. She was excited for me. But she was just like appalled. She was like, I can't believe she would do something like that. Like, because she actually taught the girl herself. Like, we went to the same high school.
Not the Montgomery mess?
Yes. And a lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people don't know about that. Because I never really like told everyone besides my sisters and stuff like that. But a lot of people don't know about that. Like, it's crazy when you're from the same hometown, and yeah. Yeah, so I almost got it snatched. My little opportunity was snatched away from me.
Okay, so I heard you say earlier you was cool with her mama, or you knew her mama, Dion mama. Did you ever talk to her mama about it, or Dion about it?
I never told her mama about it, no.
I would have told her mama. You see what your daughter out here doing?
Yep, I never told her mama about it.
Cause when you tell somebody black mama, somebody black, you tell their mama, bitch, you really.
But
we're gonna get some straightening around here.
I
just let it go. Yeah.
As long as it didn't completely, like, it almost, they was like, this is, they can't really, but I was glad that they didn't like just eliminate me. It was like, no, you can't. Yeah. But it was kind of weird that she did that, because I never had any, harsh feelings or anything. We never had any. I don't know why she would do that, but yeah, I thought that was weird.
Jesus. So you're done with Top Model. You close that chapter. What does Spontaniouse do from the time we saw her on Top Model to now we're seeing you now? It's almost like a 17-year gap, almost 2 decades. Oh my God. What have you been doing? I did get
into some after Top Model. I did. After a few years after, I did try to get back into modeling. I, traveled back and forth to Atlanta. And I continued to do little small things in my hometown. But then I had converted into film, I started to do like series where I would be extras or features. I did that for a while. And that was more so of me just traveling back and forth to Atlanta. At one point, I was thinking about making it permanent, but I was going to have to move to Atlanta. So I just took another route. But yeah, now I'm a mom. I have 2 beautiful sons. Yes.
Congratulations. Mother to 2 Black kings.
Yes.
We love it.
And I graduated in March, getting a degree in information technology. So I've just been living and just focused. I'm thinking about getting back into the film, acting. I kind of really enjoyed that. I really did.
That's right.
I was able to do a couple movies, a few episodes of The Quad. They used to be on BET.
At Morehouse. I was going to school at Morehouse during that time. I used to hate it. Like, y'all get off our campus with all this mess.
Oh, yeah. But I've been thinking about getting back into, doing a little acting to see where that takes me. Yeah. But as far as modeling, I think I'm kind of done with that. That's kind of behind me. I have thought about, starting to open up a little small modeling school here, with young girls here in my hometown. But as far as me modeling, I think I'm done with that. I end up having like a really bad car accident where I had an injury to one of my foot. So I don't even walk as good as I used to in heels, but I can still walk in heels. But other than that, like anything pertaining to modeling, yeah, I don't think I'm going to get back into that.
I know that's right. The hell with it. You know, Tyra quit it, so shit.
Yeah, that experience was enough for me to see.
Top model is still a hot topic decades
Mm-hmm.
after being in its prime. What is your reaction to seeing people be so critical about not only the show but Tyra Banks herself and how they treated some of the contestants who were of color, who were of different size than the norm? What's your
Mm-hmm.
reaction to hearing everyone just almost dogpile this iconic TV show?
I definitely agree with most of the critics and things I've been seeing.
Heard.
Um, when you do look back at the judges and the panel, a lot of things that they would say would be harsh, you know. Remember the episode where the girl passed out and
Mm-hmm.
it was like a delay, like no one, you know, immediately ran to her aid. Like people would go through these drastic changes with getting their hair shaved and, you know, things of that nature, these extensions. And, you know, they would, I felt like some of the girls, they would, like I said, a lot of girls didn't have tough skin. So, you know, listen to the judges. A lot of times they would break down those girls' self-esteem. Like, who was that we were just speaking about? She wasn't plus size. A lot of the girls that they tried to make plus size, they weren't plus size, you know. It was just, when you think about it, the per diem, it wasn't worth it. I mean, it was the experience, but when you lay out all the pros versus all the cons, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot to take in to deal with. People don't know what happened behind the scenes. I think for me, the best with my experience, the food on the boat was really fresh and
I
good.
bet.
Oh, it was so good. But you know, getting to meet different people and, you know, learning about different people's backgrounds was a great experience. But overall, like when you look back now, being the adult that I am now, like the show was actually a terrible show. Like the conditions you in, being not able to talk when you want to talk, being controlled, and then also let me just say this: after they was done with us, when they picked their finalists to go in the house, they then put us back into these small, shitty ass hotel rooms with two of us to a bed. I did not like that. I was so over it.
To a bed?
Yes, yes.
Who you was in the bed with?
What was her name from Boston? That's what I said. You didn't. That was not one of the girls you showed. She didn't make it. What was her name? But she was from Boston and she snored. And I was in a room with her, and I was so over it. Remind you, I was already mad. I didn't hug Tyra. And that's putting us back in this room. We didn't see the other girls. We actually, what's the word? We actually deboarded a different way. So we didn't see the other girls. We didn't see the production. Like, yeah. Like after you were sent home, you were sent home. So overall, the experience, I would say it was an experience, but it was nothing like people like. I agree with just about every critic that I come across that criticizes Top Model. They're literally hitting the nail dead on the head. Like people don't know what people went through. Like a lot of times when those girls had to go through those makeovers, like it was cruel. Like, and a lot of those makeovers were hideous. Like it was supposed to enhance, but oh my god.
Who comes to mind when you think of a hideous makeover spontaneous?
Oh my god, what comes to mind? Who comes to mind? It's so many people. Like it was like, what made you guys think that would be a good fit? Like I can only imagine if I made it to that point. I'm a very blunt person, so yeah, I probably would have. They probably would have kicked me off the show versus, you know, the way I would have been acting. She was asking me to act more myself, but I am a very blunt person. Um, when I think about it, it wouldn't be something I would like my daughter to experience. You know, um, people that made it in the house that say they came out like fifth and sixth place was leaving home or coming back home with like $2,000, like, and they had been on the show for months. So it was just, I don't know. A lot of girls, I feel like it broke them, like, mentally. Like they felt like they had to look a certain way or they had to be a certain size, so. But honestly, for me, it made me look at like modeling a whole different way. Like, I went in thinking that I could like be this ultimate supermodel, and then leaving out, I just, all of that was gone away. Like, I didn't know what to expect. Is it you can only get into this industry unless you know someone, or you know but overall, I enjoy, meeting some of the girls.
Yeah.
um,
I heard you say earlier that you blamed Tyra for a lot of, the bad you felt like happened during your time on the show. Where are you now in that journey? Have you forgiven?
I still blame her. Yeah.
And
I
for what
still
exactly? Like the whole thing?
um the reason why I say I blame her, because going into the show, going into this whole thing, I was expecting something totally different. um I wasn't expecting to be, what's the word, criticized so much on my personality and how I'm acting versus what I'm actually here for. Like, I was expecting to learn
Mm.
a lot of things, and I didn't. I didn't learn much, honestly. I was thinking this would be something where I can go in as an unexperienced person and come out with a little more experience, with a little more knowledge, or I did it like, um, I would say, I guess that's because I wasn't there so long that I didn't get to experience a lot of things. But overall, top model made me feel like modeling just wasn't for me, and it probably isn't for me. Just because you're tall and people think you're pretty, or you're tall and slim, you fit that narrative. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's for you.
It's for you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's how I was feeling, like, at being there and experiencing it. I know all experiences is not going to be the same. Like I said, it's a reality show also, so maybe that played a part in it. But that's not what I was wanting to experience. That's not what I was expecting, basically. It was more reality versus modeling.
Competition, right.
Yeah, it was more so of a competition, like.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking was top model would be something that can also mold you and build your experience, where you can come out and you can use this in life moving forward, or it can put you in places with people, or open up doors for you. But it did absolutely none of that.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Mama. But I am happy to see that you are happy
Yes.
in life and you're doing freaking amazing.
Yes.
So, like, we're going to clap for you. We definitely going to clap for you because that's really amazing. I want to
Thank
know, what words did you care to share to all of the hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people out there who still remember Spontaneous, who were just like me, so entertained by your personality, and who are still online right now going up for you? Like, I don't know if you do it, but if you don't, I encourage you to Google your name and put America's Next Top Model after it, and you will see pages and posts from all over the internet of people
Oh,
saying
wow.
we should have gotten we should have gotten more of Spontaneous on Cycle 9, or we needed more Spontaneous. Yeah, like, people love what you gave, even though it was a short amount. It was still enough to be remembered to this day. What are your words to those people out there?
Guys, I thank you so much. I see you guys. I'm so grateful that you guys got to see a little bit of how I am. I am such an amazing person. That was just one of those experiences, you live and learn. But I am doing great in life. I'm thriving. I'm here. I'm
Yes.
happy. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I see you guys. I love the support. Hopefully you guys can see me in the near future. Let's just say it's gonna be something great, whether it's acting. And never know what may come across or what doors may open up. So I definitely appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'm still that same spontaneous. I no longer work at Wendy's, y'all, but you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for sharing. And I see the comments of people wanting to know where I am in life. I see the comments where people are saying I should have made it, which I agree I should have. But things happen. But again, guys, thank you for all the love and support. I greatly appreciate it. I really do.
I should have asked you this earlier. That was beautiful, by the way. Oh my God, that was so beautiful. That was really beautiful. Thank you for that. I should have asked you this earlier. And hear me go being black. Girl, how your mama doing?
My mama is doing great.
She was pushing and pushing and pushing. How's she doing?
She is doing wonderful. She actually was like, "Why did you tell them that?" I was like, "Mom, why did you tell me the story?" It never fails. When I tell somebody my name, they always want to know, how did you get that name? And I have to go through the story, y'all, each and every time. But my mama is doing great. I just talked to her earlier. She's doing really good.
Please let her know Oliver Twixt in the Twixt Exclusive Classroom. Tell her hello. And we thank her for giving us Spontaniouse, baby.
Yes,
and we are grateful for her pushing and pushing and pushing. We grateful for it, okay? I got one more question. Well, two more questions. One more. If I go to Wendy's, what should I get?
My favorite, I'm not gonna lie. My used to be favorite is the spicy, but the double stacks are really good. But my favorite is the spicy chicken combo. And you gotta get the little cheese on the side. The melted cheese that they put on the potatoes, you gotta get it for your fries because it's so good. It's so good. And get you a mango lemonade. You good.
My go-to at Wendy's always is 4-piece spicy nugget.
Spicy nuggets. They all right. They all right. My baby love the nuggets too, not the spicy, the regular ones. But the spicy nuggets all right.
They good. But I go up for Wendy's new breakfast menu. To me, Wendy's has some of the best fast food breakfast out there.
And you're not the first person to say that. A lot of people say that, but I have not tried their breakfast. I have not tried the breakfast.
Spontaneous, take your ass through the Wendy's drive-thru. I'm going to tell you what to get. You're going to get your croissant. You eat sausage. Get you some sausage. Get you a croissant with the croissant bread. With the sausage and the egg and the cheese. Get you some of them little seasoned tots on the side.
Oh, that sounds good.
Baby.
That sounds good.
Wendy's got some good breakfast.
Someone else said that. They said Wendy's breakfast is really good.
Mm-hmm. If I still had my fat back, I would be busting it down, but I can't play with that. I got to stay away. I got big people genes inside of me. I can't be eating that stuff. I'll eat a fry and blow up. I promise you I will.
I'm going to try the breakfast out. I'm going to let you know how it tastes.
Please, and message me when you do, please.
I am. But I really like that spicy chicken combo. It's really good, especially when it's fresh.
My last question to you, Spontaneous, is... They know why I'm out there laughing. If you were standing before Tyra Banks right now in 2025, well, 2024, we almost to 2025. Jesus, this is crazy. I've been talking about Top Model since the pandemic. 2020. Oh, wow. Next year, we'll make 5 years. Wow. Anyways, if you were standing before Tyra Banks right now in 2024, what would you say?
I probably would say, Tyra, I definitely appreciate the opportunity to grace Top Model. I will say it was an experience like no other, but it did change my outlook on modeling. Your show was the reason I no longer pursue modeling, there were some things about the show that showed me a lot of things are falsified. They're not what they seem to be. But I definitely appreciate the experience. If I had to do it again, I would not. I probably would take a different route.
I'm not laughing at you, Spontaneous. I'm just laughing at if you was really saying this to Tyra. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, oh my God, Spontaneous, I haven't seen you since the show. Girl, how you been? Girl, your show was trash. It made me give up on modeling. I would have do something else. It is horrible.
Something. Your show wasn't it. I don't even know why it ran so many seasons. Because all you guys did was put girls down. I remember her clashing with what's her name?
Tiffany.
Yes.
Season 4.
You really deserved it. Like you just I just don't understand why you were so upset. Like your show was one of those experiences for me, like it wasn't what it seemed. And if only people knew, like I can only imagine what the girls had to go through in the house once they got in the house.
Oh, girl, just go to the Oliver Twixt YouTube channel and just let it play. Let it play. They gonna tell you.
But yeah,
I've interviewed a lot of girls from Cycle 9, actually, by the way. Like, a lot. Like, I have to talk to Sal, but I've talked to Chantal. I've talked to Jenna. I've talked to Bianca. I've talked to Lisa. I've talked to Ambrielle. I've talked to Sarah. And then I'm talking to you like 7. Yeah. So there's a, and maybe, I'll be forgetting sometimes, maybe another Cycle 9 in there. But yeah, we have a lot of Cycle 9 exposés to sink your teeth into.
See, that's the thing. And all the girls you mentioned are girls that actually made it as a finalist. Like, I didn't even make it as a finalist. A lot of people still remember me, though, from the semifinalists, which I think is a good thing. Just imagine if I would have made it in the house, to really give it to them.
Now, you said you watched this show, right? What photo shoot do you remember you wish you could have done? And I'm gonna try to run through them in order. So there was the smoking one. There was the climbing one. There was the plant one. There was the gargoyle one, which is one of my favorites. There was the what comes after the gargoyle one? Is that when they did the recycling? I think it was like different pieces of recyclable matter, I think. And then they did the Enrique Iglesias music video. Then there was the cover girl. Then there was China in front of the, like, all that shit was going on. Then there was the, what was next?
Cover girl will always be one of my favorites, just off top. But I think for me, it probably would have been the smoking one. I probably would have just ate that one all the way up. But yeah.
I know that's right. Spontaneous. I'm kind of mad. I won't say mad because you definitely had to do what was best for you and you moved according to your happiness. And we wouldn't have wanted you to be like someone potentially like Ebony, who got in the house and was unhappy. Right. Was so unhappy. And God does everything for a reason. I don't know if you believe in God. I do. Everything happens for a reason. But I'm just like, oh my God, talking to you right now and just hearing some of your commentary and thoughts and just your natural quirk, I would have loved to see that within the top model universe of the competition and, the pomp and circumstance of being a model. All that. I would have loved to see Yo Montgomery ass traverse that competition. That would have been some funny shit. You in China? Oh my God.
Yeah. I think it would have been really good, but I think for me, again, like I said earlier, the timing.
Yeah.
It probably was the timing. And I did think about, like, my graduation a lot. Like, I did think about it. Like, dang, maybe I should have went to my graduation instead, But things happen for a reason, so. But I definitely think timing played a big part in it as well.
Yeah. Maybe if you were older, and had a little bit more experience of the business, like Celicia did.
Yeah.
You probably would have entered it differently, maybe.
Because going in blind and unexperienced and saying, girls that, have a little experience, girls that seem like professional, it can be a little intimidating, and I don't usually say I'm one of those ones that that is easily intimidated, but at that point, I kind of felt like, yeah,
I
I
got
could
it.
see why they would pick this person over me, based off of, just looking, if you were to go through all of my films the pictures I took that day versus another person, like, I was literally like a blind fish in water. I had no idea what I was doing, but I did enjoy it. It was the experience, and yeah,
I
something I could put on my bucket list and say I
definitely,
did.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean being on top model, especially in the way that you were, I mean, it's kind of iconic. You get to say you did something a lot of people did not do, and of
Yeah.
course, unfortunately, it comes with certain things. But for me, I've just learned to look at the positive, the good in things.
Yes.
It helps you to feel better about it. It helps you feel
Right.
better
At
about
least I
life.
did. At least I tried. Like, it was
Hmm.
something I wanted to do. And
And you
it
did
was,
it.
yeah, it was something I thought I wanted to do, like, for a living. So to be able to get that experience and to see, like, hey, yeah, just because you fit that profile doesn't mean that is something that's the path of the journey you need to take. So,
Yes. It
and
says
then as we see, I mean, I feel like the one that had the most successful run with Top Model would be Eva. Like, her career went the furthest. Um,
And I ain't even trying to be funny. I ain't being funny because I love Eva, right? I love Eva for the show. I love who she is today, what she does, everything she has done. Eva is that girl. Eva is
mhm.
that girl. She is that girl. And yes, Top Model was the show that set her, on her path.
Yes.
And Eva model, you know what I'm saying? She did model, but I feel like we know more of Eva of being like a personality,
Hmm.
or that very very beautiful black girl from Top Model.
Yes.
Like I still don't think, and the only reason I say that, I still don't think the show itself put someone in Top Model superstardom. Now there are a lot of girls who left the
Hmm.
show and on their own, they were able to segue themselves into a larger career, like someone like Winnie Harlow, who's doing her thing. But I don't think like how American Idol, you can directly link that show to launching so many careers and giving people millions of records sold, and the Carrie Underwoods and Fantasia, stuff like that. I don't know if we can say that
Right.
about Top Model in terms of modeling. Now have girls
Right.
gone on and been successful in other things? Yes. But I don't know. I don't know. And I'm a
I
fan of the
agree.
show. I'm
I
a
just
huge fan of
said,
the show
I
still.
mean, when I, well, I meant more so as exposure, like,
Yeah.
to other things. Yeah. And I completely forgot about Winnie because I stopped watching it after so long. Like,
Hmm.
basically, after my cycle, it was a done deal.
It was a dub.
Yeah. Not saying that like that because I think Winnie is a beautiful girl. She's
Hmm.
talented, but yeah, I just kind of like I said, my experience changed my whole outlook on modeling and life, and if I wanted to do it professionally. So yeah,
I love
after
it.
I left the show, it kind of became you know, obsolete to me actually.
Yeah. I want to send you so much love on behalf of all of my
Thank you.
friends who still
Yeah.
love them some Spontaneous.
And
I just want to
I love
send you some
y'all. I
love.
love you guys. I definitely appreciate the support.
Yes.
Let's just say in the near future, you guys will be seeing me and I'll be doing something totally different. Like, it'll still be dealing with film. Hopefully, I got my fingers crossed.
Hmm.
That those doors open up and things, expand for me with that. Because I really enjoy, even though I did a little bit of here and there work, I really enjoyed, filming and being on set and just, yeah.
I have enjoyed this time with you, Spontaneous. This
Thank
was
you.
absolutely fun, and I'm so grateful for you agreeing to do this with me and making time to chat
Yes,
about
no problem.
America's Next Top Model. I send you so much love. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so much for doing
Oh,
this
you're welcome.
with
Thank
me.
you.
Let's stay connected because I would love to see
Yes.
what you do in the future. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to support you. Because I would love to do so. This is so great. This is so great. Sending love to you, your family. Congratulations
Oh,
on,
you as
on your
well. Thank
degree, your
you. Thank
sons,
you.
and you're looking freaking beautiful. You
Thank
look
you.
beautiful. Everybody, let's give Spontaneous a round of applause for an amazing exclusive chat on
Love you
America's Next Top
guys.
Model Cycle 9. Spontaneous, thank you so much, darling.
Thank you.
Yes. Woo! That was so good. Everybody, please jump down below in the description box and click the link to follow Spontaneous right now on social media. Thank you once again, Spontaneous, for agreeing to do this chat with me. I am honored to share your update on your life after America's Next Top Model. Everybody, thank y'all so much for watching. Okay, y'all already know the drill. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell so you know when we're going live, hit like, share the video with another top model fanatic, and jump down in the comments and let me know what you thought about this chat. Y'all know we have over 150 plus chats talking to contestants, judges, and producers on America's Next Top Model. So please click the Top Model playlist on my channel and get into the mix, bitch. I love you guys so much. Until next time, be sure to parade and giggle. Good night.
Oh, you go. I turn my left eye